Welcome to another edition of Te Akau TV. I'm joined by Te Akau Racing Manager Reese Trumper. Reese, what a week it's been. 5 winners there on Saturday.
Hey, Hazy and viewers. It was a fantastic weekend. We couldn't have asked for a better start to the Group 1 season. All the horses performed well. We didn't go home with one bad run, so it was a great thrill.
Well, let's talk through those quickly. Tokyo Tycoon, great to see him back in the form that we saw him in last season. He's really kicked off where he left it.
Exactly. His trials obviously were just okay going into it, but we held faith in him, and good horses always find a way to win on race day. I remember 12 months ago we went into the same race with Dynastic and we weren't sure how we were going, and he showed us how good he was on that day as well. So we expected him to run well, and he did.
And are we likely to see him down on a 2,000 guineas path, or are we going to stick to the plan and skip that for the $1 million race there in January, or the $1.5 million race?
We're just going to take it race by race with him. He's not a horse that has a lot to come and go on. If there was a flight there and back, you'd consider it. But the $1.5 million carrot looks very tasty, and you'd rather have the horse spot on for that.
Great. And Sam's best of the week fashion shoot. Great to see her salute there as well.
She's a beautiful mare now. She's strengthened up since last season. She placed in a few black type races, so she was very well weighted and placed in a 75-1200, and it was a beautiful ride by Palmer. He stalked them coming to the turn and took the gaps when they were there, and she's a mare that's going to go through the grades extremely well this season for sure.
And Quintessa looks fairly tapped at this stage, taking out a Group 3 and only her third start.
She's still learning as well. She's got a pedigree that she should be racing in an Oaks trip pretty quick, but she's just doing it on pure ability over the 1200. She's an exciting mare. Where we go to with her next, we're not 100% sure. There is a plan that we could just trial her straight into the soliloquy down to the 1,000 guineas, fourth up. But we'll just have a couple of days to think about her and make a plan from there.
And what a result there for Waikato Stud with Skewiff taking out the Group 1 Tarzino. Really deserved the victory. Great ride from OP. And Reese, we might see her on Australian shores sooner rather than later.
It was a great ride by OP. I don't think any other rider would have won on her, actually. It was an absolute peach. He got there a little soon in the Fox Bridge, but he made sure he timed it nicely. Obviously, Dragon Leap and Legatos were the main dangers, and they were hunting us down late. But it was a great ride and great result for Waikato Stud. They're a big supporter of our stable. We love our Sotheby's, as you know. Dave has probably brought the most and had the most success with them. So it was great to get one for Waikato. So yes, she probably will head to Melbourne on the 7th of October. There's a race called the Kingston Plate or something for fillies and mares over 1,400. And if she performed well in that, there's a race like the Golden Eagle, and it would be an amazing result for them if they went back-to-back years in that, for sure.
That would be almost unparalleled and very difficult to achieve. Outside of that, we haven't really spoken about Imperatriz, but what a great way to see the star mare absolutely explode there at Moonee Valley. Went past a very good one in Giga Kick, and now has her sights firmly set on a Melbourne Spring campaign.
It was unreal, really. Speechless, really, from how good she was. The way she went past Giga Kick like he was tied to the fence post was unreal. She's got a big spring ahead of her, and Ben Gleeson's done a magnificent job with her over there. We get an update every morning on how she's done, and she's done very well since the race. So the Moya on the 29th is going to be hopefully our race to take.
Absolutely, and a fantastic result, as you mentioned, to the team and to Ben, who was on our show last week and gave the viewers out there a pretty good steer on how she was going to go as well. So congratulations to you, Ben, on your first winner, and obviously to the wider Te Akau team for getting you ready and nice and fit to head over there. So that wraps up the winners of the week. Of course, there was the New Zealand Thoroughbred Horse of the Year Awards on Sunday, where Imperatriz took out the Sprinter Miler of the Year, and of course Mark Walker was crowned champion trainer another great result for the team. And I guess the results kept going all the way through till Sunday night.
It was a great night for us. Just to reflect on how good a season we did have. Mark is the best boss he could ever ask for. He deserves to be champion trainer. He's given me a great opportunity and myself. So he deserves everything he gets. And Tokyo Tycoon, that was a deserving award. He was by far the best 2-year-old in New Zealand. And Imperatriz, she just had an outstanding season, didn't she? So she definitely deserved that award. And now we've got to look forward to this season.
That is right, Reese. And what we're going to look at this week, so we're going to have a quick look at the runners at Taupo there on Friday, Riccarton Park there on Saturday, and we'll finish up the week there at Tarapa on Sunday. So a busy few days in store for you. I know you're off to the races now. We're at Wednesday afternoon. And of course, Lord Dynastic goes around later on today as well, which will be exciting to see. So let's get it underway there at Taupo. And we're going to kick off there in race number 4, the Remembering Julie Wielding maiden 3-year-old 1300, superbly ridden, nicely bred filly, this by Ridden Tycoon, the half to quite a good horse over in Australia called Brosnan.
She's improved out of sight since that run at Taupo. She was pretty wide on the bend and everything. She didn't have a few things go away, but up to the 1300 is really going to suit her, and her work since then has been really good. She's a big mare. She's going to get over a bit of ground in time, I think, but we're happy with her, and she looks like an each-way player in that for sure.
And race 5, the Fibre Fresh 1300 maiden 3-year-old race. Balance of Power lined up against some of the better 2-year-olds last season. Kicks off his 3-year-old campaign here in a maiden 3-year-old event.
He was listed placed in the second start of his 2-year-old career. It's been gelded now since his last start. He just did a few things wrong as a colt. But his attitude this time and as a gelding has been very good. The 1300 fresh up off his pedigree is going to be ideal for him. He doesn't mind a bit of sting in the track, so that should be all good. But I think he'll be running on and be willing to have a mile pretty quick for sure.
And race 6, the DPA Chartered Accountants 1200, another maiden affair for another 3-year-old that was seen in some of the better races last season. I was really taken by this horse's trial a couple of weeks ago, Reese.
Cyclone King, for sure. He's coming up nicely. He's probably drawn to advantage. I think we just got it wrong as a 2-year-old, trying to hunt him up and be positive. I think the way to ride him is take a sit and let him run on. He's probably a horse that's going to get over more ground than 1200, but it's a good race to kick him off in. And Warren has been coming over and riding a lot of track work for us at home, and he's been happy with him. So as long as he's showing us that he's hitting the line strongly and wanting to be there, we'll be happy for sure.
And race 7, the Hollow One Jolly's 1100 meters, rating 75 benchmark. Some really nice ones kicking off here. Of course, Romancing the Moon was last season's 11 Classic winner, beating out Skew Whiff. She kicks off her new season here, drawn barrier 9 with the apprentice Jessica Allen on board.
She's a mare that's just taken a little while to get fit. She did have a very busy 3-year-old season. She went down to South Island a couple of times and Trentham once. So we didn't miss her at all during the season, and she just kept on raising the bar. Every thing we gave her, she kept on proving us how good she is. The 1100 obviously will be a bit slick for her, but as long as she's running on strongly, we'll be happy with her and look forward to different targets later on in the spring.
And Cognito, their very good spring form, ran into Sharp and Smart pretty early on with a close second at Ruakaka before having a listed placing, running 6th in the Group 1 2000 Guineas, and then coming out and winning the Wellington Guineas, the Group 2 Wellington Guineas over 1400 metres later on there in the summer. How can we see him perform there for the start of his new season?
He's a horse that's probably only trialled fairly, but we've just done a few things with him, and his work at home's been very good. Vinnie Colgan's been putting in a lot of hard work for us at home, so he deserves a ride like this. He's a horse on his day that could win this race easily. He won his first start at Taupo, which is ideal. But as long as he's showing us that he wants to be there, we'll be happy with him. But it wouldn't surprise us if he runs the top 3 for sure.
Great. And I Choose You, of course, she was Group 2 placed as a 2-year-old and Group 3 placed as a 3-year-old. Kicks off here for a 4-year-old season. Draws barrier 2 with Warren Kennedy on board.
First trial back this campaign at Avondale was just okay. She trialled a lot better the second time at Matamata. Warren rode her when she was a very unlucky certainty beaten on Cracker Million night. She nearly got put down on the track, and she came out and did the job well after that by winning at Tarapa. So Warren gets on with her really well. She's drawn a nice barrier. We'll get a bit of cover from that draw. And 1,100 metres for this mare is perfect for her, and we wouldn't be surprised if she's winning.
And I choose you there, a 4-year-old mare, fairly lightly raced with just the 7 career starts now. Did have kick off there at Taupo, but comes out here for her second start of her 4-year-old campaign.
I think you mean Grayson Gray. She was just okay first up. Maybe the 1,200, she just couldn't run that out first up, but the blinkers come off to make her relax a little more, and we'll try and be a little more positive over the 1,100. Craig Grills gets on with her well. He was meant to ride her in the Cracker Million when she was pre-post favourite for that. So work's been better, but we want to see a better run from her for sure. But we've done everything we can to help her.
Fantastic. And over to Riccarton Park there on Saturday, 8 runners, all kind of working towards the Cup Week goals across there in the early part of November. We kick off there in race 2, the Canterbury Westland Racing Owners Association Maiden 1,200. Star of Justice, the Justify filly, Jaws Barrier 7 with Warren Kennedy on board.
It's kind of just a late notice thing, putting her on down at Palmy. It ended up probably being just a bit rich for her, and the track probably didn't suit her. But she's travelled well to Riccarton. The blinkers go on, tongue tie on. That's what she used. When she trialled up really nice at Avondale as a 2-year-old, she had all that gear on. So it all goes on her down there on Saturday. Warren's ridden her at the trials, and he was really taken by her. So we expected to have a bold showing for sure.
And race 3, the New Zealand Bloodstock Ready to Run Trainers Series, rating 65, benchmark 1,200. Tavernier ran some nice races last campaign. Jaws Barrier 8 with Warren Kennedy on board. Her
trials have been good. She's probably a mare that's bred to go over a lot further. She doesn't have a hell of a lot to come and go off, but she's got ability. She ran a cracking race in the Wellington Guineas as a 3-year-old. 1,200 metres down the Riccarton chute should be ideal for her, and any sting out of the ground like she'll get on Saturday will help her as well. She likes a bit of cut in the ground, so off all of that, she certainly would be a top 4 chance for sure.
And race 5, the Commodore Hotel, rating 75, benchmark 2,000. 2 that have been over the sticks last season in the Mighty Spa and Prismatic. Are they heading towards any Cup Week goals, Reece?
So the plan with these 2 is they'll have another run over 2,000 metres, and then there's a 3,000 metre race that is a Road to Jericho. So we'll give them both their opportunity to run in that, and if one of them was to take it out, they would go over for the Jericho. But they've both been nominated for the New Zealand Cup, so that's their main aim for Cup Week. Where they'll probably run in the Metropolitan on the first day as well, just for a fitness run, because they're 2 horses that just love their racing, and they'd race every week if they could. They just keep going. 2,000 metres will suit them both. Prismatic was very good at Matamata last time out, and Warren Kennedy actually gets on really well with them. So he'll get into a nice spot and bit of cover, whereas the Mighty Spa, he can be quite naughty in the gates, but he ran a creditable race at Matamata after blowing the start by 5 or 6, and Narco Haley with the 4 kgs off. He's a boy that's really impressed Mark and Sam at home. Where he comes and rides a lot of work for us, so he deserves his opportunity.
Great. Race 7, the Crawford Developments Open 1,200. Challa, really impressive last start. He seems to be getting better with age.
It was a very good effort for him. Obviously, the 1,000 metres is probably his pet trip. The step up 1,200, we're not so sure, but we've given him the claim to get some weight off his back to give him every possible chance. He's drawn, obviously, middle of the pack, so he'll roll forward from that. Hopefully get away with a few cheap sectionals, and hopefully he can kick away and be too good again.
Great. And race 8, the listed New Zealand Bloodstock Canterbury Belle Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies, set weight conditions, 1,200 metres. Viva Vienna, another last start, impressive winner there at Riccarton.
It's great to see that she's drawn barrier 1 again. She should just bounce out, lead them up, and hopefully she can get a couple of cheap sectionals. 1,200 metres is a bit of a concern for her, but Sam Weatherly is adamant she'll get it. So it'd be great to get a bit of black type on her resume. She's done well since the 1,000-meter race a couple of weeks ago, and off the draw, she looks like she's going to be very hard to beat.
And Rhetorical, the well-bred Snitzel filly out of the Mere Expression, draws barrier 3 with Warren Kennedy on board.
So she'll probably just take a sit in behind Viva Vienna like she did again the other day. She raced like she's wanting 1,200 meters now, which is good. She's only a little wee mare, but she's superbly bred. So any more black type to add to her CV would be exceptional for her. She was lucky to get that black type as a 2-year-old down there last spring. So now it wouldn't surprise us if she's a top 3 chance as well.
Great. In race 9, the Pride's Easy Fed, rating 65 benchmark. Mez Bean ran a slasher in the New Zealand Oaks there behind Pennywecker last season to run second. Draws barrier 14. I thought, look, she looked pretty good there on debut. Very unlucky missing the kick and then running in behind runners. Has the apprentice on board as well.
She was very stiff. 1,400 only too. So stepping her up to the mile is going to be big help for her. And she had 60.5 first up. She's down to 56.5. on Saturday. She has drawn a bit wider, but she won't be in any trouble out there. We'll try and get her rolling nice and early, and she looks like she's going to be very hard to beat, and she's gone the right way since that first up run. She's a big mare, but she's got plenty of ability for sure.
Fantastic. Well, over to Tarapa there on Sunday for Great Northern Day, and there'll be some there'll be some spectacles there watching some of those hurdle races, and we fill in the remainder of the card with 6 taking their place. And we kick off there in race 1, the Riverbank Chambers 1,200, rating 65 benchmark. Almanet draws barrier 8 with the apprentice Jessica Allen claiming 3 kilos.
Her work this morning, Wednesday morning, was exceptional on the course proper. She went with a good mare called Puketito that we rate highly, and she did well to stick with her the whole way around. So off her work, and her trial at Te Awamutu was really good too. She's really come of age, this mare. She's settled down in the stables and just started doing everything perfect. 1,200 meters first up is going to be ideal for her, and getting down to 55 kgs is going to be a big help. She's a mare that we think that will get through the grades pretty quick this spring, and it wouldn't surprise us if she's winning for sure.
And race 5, the Craig's Investment Partners Mile Open Handicap, 1,600 meters. Soprano Supreme. There's some nice older horses in here, so she finds herself pretty well in the weight through with 54 kilos.
She does. She's been good enough to go to Brisbane and run a placing in a Premier's Cup. Obviously, the mile is going to be a bit short for her, but she's a horse that would probably end up in Melbourne if she came up, and a lot of staying races over there for a mare like this. As long as she's running on strongly over the mile, she'll get back and run home. We'll be happy.
In race 8, the Elston Park 1,400, rating 75 benchmark. 3 take their place here. It was great to see Marlborough Bay show his early promise as a 3-year-old and come out and win there the other day. Draws barrier 5 with the informed jockey Michael McNabb on board.
It was great to see him back in form. He's shown us so much early. He won his first start as a 2-year-old, was good enough to race in the 2,000 guineas as a 3-year-old. Now a 4-year-old, he's a lot sounder. He's an older horse now. Obviously, he's drawn a nice barrier, so he should be able to land and put himself into a nice position from there. And the track, if it came back to a 6 or 7, would be absolutely perfect for him. And his work this morning was great too, so it wouldn't surprise us if he went back to back.
And Family Ties there came out of a lot of the New Zealand Bloodstock Fillies of the Year series races last season, some very competitive fields, winning a listed race there, the Grange Williams Studs Oaks Prelude back in February. She draws barrier 4 for the resumption of her 4-year-old campaign.
Yeah, she was good enough to obviously win a stakes race as a 3-year-old, like you said. She's improved now. She's a lot stronger. She was always quite weak and immature as a 3-year-old, but she's strengthened up into a nice mare now. She's not the biggest, but she's got a deep girth now, which is great to see. Obviously, the 1,400 is going to be a bit sharp for her, but she's down in weight, and as long as she's running on strongly, we'll be happy, and that's all we'd like to see.
And Xantabulous draws barrier 11 there with Warren Kennedy on board.
Yeah, we'll just ride her quiet from that draw. She's a mare also that's going to get over a lot more ground, but she's certainly got plenty of ability. Her first up run was good at Taupo. She's improved since then, and once she gets to a mile, would be backing her. But as long as she's hitting the line strongly, we'll be happy for sure.
Great. And race 9 there, the PS Brown Construction Sprint, open handicap over 1200. Another very competitive field here with some tidy horses up the top of the page. On the bubbles, drops down in the ratings, but was pretty good coming around them at Taupo there a couple of weeks ago. He draws barrier 2 with Warren Kennedy on board.
It was a great run from him first up. Not much luck, no luck went our way that day. But he's improved since then. He's come right on the coast and he's looking really good. He's given us no signs that he hasn't trained off, and if anything, he's really come on in his work, and we've been happy with the way he's been working up. He looks great, and the 1200 meters will suit. We'll try and be positive and put him in the race on Sunday. And if he can race like his work's been, he should be a top 3 chance for sure.
Fantastic. Well, that wraps up the runners for the weekend race. We're 3 from 3 at the moment. Lots to choose from, lots of pressure on to continue the winning streak. Where are we going?
Look, I think Maheza Bean, race 9 at Riccarton. She's an each-way chance. She just looks a very good chance, and up to a mile for sure.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. There's the weekend's runners. 3 days there to enjoy some racing action across our great country. And Reece, we head to Tauranga and Arapuni next week before circling back for Hastings at Arrowfield Plate Day. Just quickly for our South Island owners, who can we expect to be on course there in the South tomorrow as well?
Sam Burgesson will be on course on Saturday.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for that intel, and good luck to all the runners and connections for this week, Reece, and we'll catch you again sometime soon.
Perfect. Thanks, AZ.